Hey, GW coming to you live once again. Hey, I just saw a movie you guys may like, or you may not. I don't know. It's called Cage Fighter, and it stars, believe it or not, John Moxley and Gina Gershon, and a bunch of other wrestlers. Kenny Omega's in it for a minute, Matt Hardy's in it for a minute. And it was actually pretty decent. It takes the idea of a UFC fighter who has conquered everything, or everybody, I should say, and tries to shift it up a little bit by having him challenge the baddest wrestler on the planet, played by John Moxley. It also stars Gina Gershon. It's on Amazon Prime. You can get it for like $10. Surprisingly, pretty awesome movie. Um, and it was really entertaining. You know, Christian Cage is in it. He's a wrestler from TNA, and you guys right remember him from the WWE era with Edge and Christian. And it was one of the better movies that wrestlers were in. I mean, of course, you had the Marine with John Cena that did pretty well, and you had 21 Rounds and 21 Rounds 2 with Randy Orton, which was a pretty awesome movie in itself. But the, I guess the general conception is that wrestlers can't act in a scripted film. I mean, if you look at No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan and Tiny Lister Jr., it was great when I was five, but you look at it now and you go, whoa, what were they thinking? And then of course you get the flops, Santa with muscles, and then you get the Goldberg movie. Goldberg was a wrestler in WCW, which you guys want to look up something interesting, even if you hate wrestling, check out check out his winning streak. It was like 125 and 0, and the next week it was 220 and 0, and it was just a ridiculous thing. But he played in a horror film called Santa Slay, which I've never seen because, basically, I heard it was pure trash. But in any event, this movie Cage Fighter is by far one of the best movies in general about UFC crisscrossing over with the wrestling world. And if you're an AEW fan, it does have some footage of the AEW arena, John Moxley, attacking Jericho, Kenny Omega stuff. And it's really cool. And it was done in a way where it was actually pretty damn believable. Now, I didn't stick around. I was watching the credits, and they have a little video, playing in the credits of Gina Gershon telling you what happened after the big fight between the UFC fighter and then John Moxley's character. And it was pretty cool. And so that's why I didn't get the names, but I am sorry about that. Anyway, definitely check out Cage Fighter. It is a pretty wicked, entertaining little ride. And it also shows the perils of what happens when you lose, multiple fights back to back. What happens to your money, what happens to your life, your ability to be recognized, how fans don't really turn on you or, support you that much. It was pretty cool. Definitely check out Cage Fighter. I can't say much about it. It was a pretty cool, sports movie, and it was one of the better movies, if not the best movie, that I've seen wrestlers in. Now, another movie that is comparable to that is the Mickey Rourke film, The Wrestler, which, if you guys haven't seen that or somehow missed that, you guys need to check that one out. That is a pretty wicked film. It's about Mickey Rourke's character, Randy the Ram Robinson, who is on his last days, and he's already made it big. He's at the end of his career, and he wants to get out, and he ends up dying in the ring. They don't show that, but it has a lot of independent wrestlers in it. John Cena is in it, believe it or not, but he's uncredited. Apparently, he didn't want to do it. And this was a big movie because at one of the WrestleManias, Chris Jericho wanted to challenge Mickey Rourke. They did a cross promotion to promote the movie and whatnot. And it was pretty interesting. And if you haven't seen it, the ending will make you cry. And also, if you're a WCW fan, the character of the Cat is in it, and he's Randy's last opponent. Definitely a pretty moving picture of a man whose career is pretty much burned out and has fizzled out. And I think it was up for a couple Academy Awards if it didn't win anything. But definitely a comparison piece if you're looking for a slower, more drama type deal. What else is going on? Other than those two things, guys, I mean, it's been kind of slow. We've got our country shut down again, which, I knew was going to happen. So we're back to, as far as today, back to just takeout and pandemic regulars, I like to call it, which really sucks. But I did see another cool film on Shudder, though. I want to tell you guys about. It's called Haunt. It takes the teens in a haunted house that takes the things too real to another level. Multiple films like this have been done. The House That October Built, the sequel. This one's actually pretty awesome. So check out Haunt if you're bored today or whatever. It was very cool, and the same premise, like I said, it's a tired premise, but this film, it sticks with you. It's a little bit more sinister than the rest. The villains don't have a motive, which is pretty awesome. So, that's all I can tell you. But yeah, just trying to survive pandemic wave 2 or wave 3 or whatever you want to call it. And I did promise you guys a list of the top 10 Christmas horror films. And I'm working on it. But I guess one of the reigning king of the Christmas horror films has to be Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know last year I went over this film and I did a movie review about it. So please check that one out and you'll learn everything there is to know about Billy and his homicidal tendencies. And they actually made an action figure of Billy. I know I've covered that too, and I've got one sitting over there. They also made a Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 doll, and I think they stopped there because the Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 doll was played by. Or Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 was played by, what's his name? He's been in everything. He was in House of a Thousand Corpses and all that. Bill Moseley. Yeah. And the third one by far is the worst entry into the film, so I'm not even going to mention that. And you could see it was Bill Moseley's first horror film, and you could see why he did that film. But the script, it was something a 5 and 6-year-old could have talked about on a park bench, about Killer Santa Claus, and it was ridiculous. But nonetheless, if you're a fan of Bill Moseley, definitely check it out. But the reigning king, guys, is Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1985, I think. And definitely check out my review to learn more about that film. Anyway, check out Cage Fighter. Check that film out. Check out the film Haunt if you guys haven't done that already on Shudder. And I will see you next time. We'll do the top 10 Christmas horror films. It's GW telling you, be safe.